Welcome back, everybody, to MLB The Show 25 with the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I have a special treat for you today. We are going to watch opening day in its entirety. That's right, it's the Pirates versus the Marlins for MLB The Show 25. It is opening day. In real life, we have passed this day, but I am excited for this game. And Sandy Alcantara is going to start for the Marlins. And one of the few bright spots in that organization, lots of talk about a trade potentially happening between the Marlins and really any number of teams that seek to acquire Alcantara. But we will start today batting with O'Neal Cruz. And the reason that I chose to do the full game, we're going to see every pitch here today, because I started editing this down. I got about 4 or 5 minutes into the game. And I said, you know what? It's opening day. It's special. And with my last intro video for this series being so short, I wanted to do something just a little bit longer. And I thought, you know what? Kind of a stream of consciousness type of deal, like just me talking about what I'm thinking as I'm at the plate or throwing these pitches, talking about the series and my goals and all that. I feel like doing a raw video kind of in a way could be pretty fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So if you are here for the long haul with me on this episode, thank you very much. And I'm going to strike out with O'Neal Cruz to begin this game. I am playing on Hall of Fame difficulty, which I will confirm later in the video. There is footage of me going in there. No spoiler alert, but there's a reason. And that's a perfect swing with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa into the gap in right center field. And after the strikeout, that is a good way to bounce back. Kiner-Falefa with a double. So that's pretty cool. Brian Reynolds up to the plate at third. Now, I did not change the lineup for today's game. I wanted it to be about as authentic as the game could give me. And with very little knowledge on the Pittsburgh Pirates prior to starting this franchise, I don't have very much to go off of as far as who's good at what or where they should be or any number of questions that you could possibly have as you're playing with a team for the first time. That being said, in my intro video to the Pittsburgh Pirates, I did say, and there's Reynolds with a line drive in the left field. We will hold Kiner-Falefa at third base. So men on the corners now with still only 1 out to go. Now, I had mentioned that I had a surprise, and I will go ahead and say it early in the video. I'm not going to wait till the end and do one of the, stay all the way till the end and you'll see. I'm not going to do that. This is not an influencer video. I'm just a guy that does YouTube videos for fun, and hopefully I'm entertaining while I do it. So the surprise, without further ado, is that I am going to be having a special guest on a special episode here to assist me in evaluating the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. I don't have much knowledge, as I just said, on the Pirates. I've got, a little bit. Obviously, I know the big names, the big hitters and stuff, but I do think, and that's a terrible swing by me and Joey Bart. I don't know what I was thinking inside there. Typically, the bottom of the zone is my kryptonite, but that was a real bad swing there. And with 2 outs now and men on the corners, we come to Spencer Horwitz. And I'm wary about Sandy Alcantara as well because I know how good he can be when he's on. Anyways, I'll get back to finishing it up. So I'm going to be having a special guest, my brother-in-law, and he knows a lot about the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we will see our first run come through in the year 2025, a single up the middle by Spencer Horwitz. And that is a 1-0 lead now. And Andrew McCutchen will step to the plate with 2 men on and 2 outs. How much further can we go here in the first? Swing and a miss on that slider, low and away. So, I think having a guest on is a cool idea. And I approached it pretty much out of the blue as much as I could. And not intentionally so, but I gave him a call out of nowhere, middle of the day, and said, hey, I got an idea I want to run by you. And I basically asked him if he would lend his knowledge and expertise to me. And that is a passed ball on the swing and miss from McCutchen, and the runners will advance. So now, 2 men in scoring position, 1-2 is the count. And he gracefully accepted the offer and said that he would come on here. So we will be having a somewhat long-form discussion on the current state of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And there it is, the kryptonite for me, bottom of the zone, swing and a miss, and that was strand 2, but we did bring one across. So my brother-in-law will be helping me out here on the series for this special episode that I've got planned. And we're going to be talking the current state of the Pittsburgh Pirates, how they got here, and where we should possibly go. I will be taking suggestions, and we will see Paul Skeens here take the hill for the very first time in 2025. So much more baseball that we're going to try to get out of this guy, but it all begins here today. So I have a few questions that I plan on asking him and trying to get his best ideas on. Now, no promises as far as the follow-through because, you know, I take advice. Absolutely, I'll take it into consideration. But I will say that sometimes I am a little stubborn or hard-headed, so who knows? But I expect that it's going to be a great conversation, so hopefully you guys are down for that as well. I know that kind of content is slightly different than what I usually upload, which in my series is just me by myself here. If you guys are familiar, if there's any cross-pollination, we do a series, Panther and I, Cryptic Panther. We run the Two Idiots franchise, and Otto Lopez will be the first out for the Marlins. And we do that franchise together over on his channel. So if you have not checked that out, please go do so. It's a ton of fun. It's just as professional for a certain portion of it, and then we also get pretty wild. We also do a variety of videos over there on his channel under the Two Idiots kind of moniker, I guess. But the channel is just Cryptic Panther. And I can leave a link in the description of this video as well if you're curious. But we do a lot of different types of games. Sometimes we play gummies and play some things while we're in our giggles, so to speak. And that is a long out number 2, but Cruz is there on the warning track. So, back to this series. Like I said, I've got some questions written down that I do plan to ask in this discussion, and I'm very much looking forward to having him on. And a grounder by Xavier Edwards, and that is going to retire him for the end of the first, and we maintain our lead. All right, so that was the kind of big announcement that I had. I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to be back into baseball in my own series. And Tommy Pham at the plate is going to take ball 1 inside. That was a hard one to take. That was like right there. And for me, one of my biggest weaknesses as a hitter is holding off. I have a real hard time doing that. And Pham will weakly send that to short. And that is the first out of the top of the second. So me as a batter, I'm not fantastic, I would say. There's no ego involved. Like, baseball's a hard game. It's all about failing, you know? You fail most of the time. You can be an absolutely incredible player by only succeeding 3 out of 10 times. If you think about it that way. A 300 average is the benchmark for a great season, right? That is failing 7 out of 10 times. Baseball is a game of failure, and it's important to establish that. And they're gonna bring it a second. No, he's safe there, and he's safe at first. Keep Ryan Hayes with an infield fielder's choice. Kind of a single, I guess. I don't know, but we've got 2 men on now. We got something cooking here in the top of the second. And hopefully O'Neal Cruz can deliver that food. That was a good swing timing. That's one thing that I try to pay attention to, is the timing of those swings. As you guys can see, I don't use the PCI. What that is a setting to where you can move one of the sticks and put the bat in a specific location and try to get a hit that way. So it's timing and location based. I don't do that. Number 1, because I'm not good at it. But number 2, because even though I am playing, and there's a low strikes off the swing and the miss. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Those pitches are so tough for me to lay off of. Catching the bottom of the zone is something I'm always worried about. And so I'll swing at those low stuff more often than not, and that's how I strike out so often. So anyways, I try to leave as much up to the player ratings as I possibly can. And so I'll do the timing for the swing, and that one was timed up very well. Good timing, and O'Neal Cruz, a single up the middle, and he will drive in our second run of the game. Gonzalez sliding in. So with 1 out, we've got 2 on now, and yes, we've got an early lead on the Marlins, which I was really hoping for because, again, Alcantara is a game opponent. I know how good he can be, and I really want to drive the pitch count. I want to try to get on him early. So far, we've been able to do that with only 1 out in the top of the second. We are up by 2. That is a weak grounder over to short, and Miami will try to turn the double and get it. So we will strand another one, or another pair, rather. But the double play gets Miami out of any further damage. So I want to try to leave as much to the player ratings as possible, and that also lends over to here on the pitcher side of things with Paul Skeens. I am just choosing the location and throwing the pitch. I'm not doing the meter. I'm not doing the timing. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm letting the ratings of my pitchers determine where those go. The accuracy, the strength of it, everything that can be left to the game to simulate. Excuse me, I'm having hiccups. To simulate for me, I will let it do that because that feels the most fair. And Hayes will take that at third, and Connor Norby will be the first out in the bottom of the second. The question for me today really is, how well can I play with Skeens? I think there's plenty of opportunity on offense right now, and that's 100 miles an hour down and in. And I hit the wrong button there, so I'm going to renew that and throw something else here. I think I want to get a sinker. And that does not go where I wanted it to, but that's fine. Again, not up to me. It says the release was very early on that pitch, but that's not my fault. And wow, he actually helped me out there by swinging at the curveball. I'll give it to Skeens. I probably could have made it back over to first, but I'll give it to him for the assist. Why not? And I'm also going to take a drink of water and let the footage roll, so bear with me one moment. I'm going to try not to pause the game so I can just keep the conversation flowing. Big swing and a miss, 101 on the bottom edge of the zone. Let's give him a sinker outside. Oh, and it's so close. Just not quite close enough. Let's see if we can get a backdoor curveball. Nope, that falls below the zone and evens it back up to 2-2 against Sanchez. Pitch number 20. And that's a good one. Did he go? No, so we run the count full. Jesus Sanchez trying to keep this inning alive for Miami. Possibly get their first hit. And that is a high pop-up in foul territory right in front of the dugout, and Hayes has it. And we are through 2 hitless for Miami. And let's see if we can add any more. On my roster breakdown, kind of depth chart analysis, so to speak, just the real quick 7-minute video that I did, I also noticed that there was a couple audio glitches, so I do apologize for that. I do not watch the full video, excuse me, not video. That's not even a word. The full video, I don't watch the whole thing back after doing my edit. And Reynolds to left field, and it will land fair. Yes, and that will be a leadoff double. So I'm getting the timing down on Alcantara pretty well. Got to be happy about that to start this game. What a good way to open the day. Just late timing on that, but I think, yeah, and here's, I think, where I go to show, yeah, that I am on Hall of Fame because I'm having a lot of success early. And one of my critiques, actually, before starting this franchise officially, was that I played, I think, 7 games as the Baltimore Orioles. Whenever I get a new version of the show, I always pick the Orioles to start as a side franchise because that is my favorite team. I love the Orioles. Super happy with running a franchise for them, but I don't broadcast that part of it. That's just for me. That's my personal series kind of on the side. It's also where I kind of test out some mechanics and see what the show is, you know, year to year. And so, anyways, I am playing on Hall of Fame difficulty, but one of the critiques that I had was that the game seemed unnaturally skewed against me on the hitting and pitching side. I was having a ton of difficulty, and the Orioles are a great team. I mean, they're ranked high. They've got really high overall rated players, lots of vision, discipline, clutch. The fundamentals, or fundies, as I call them. They've got a ton of promise and players that perform very well. They've got all-stars. I mean, you name it. And I was not getting hits. I was maybe maxing out at 5 or 6 hits per game. And that's, again, over 7 or 8 games. That's enough of a sample size for me to feel that something is wrong. Because in MLB The Show 24, I also played on Hall of Fame difficulty. And I played through the Rays franchise. So I put in dozens of hours just with that franchise alone, and that's what I broadcasted. I put in, I think, 150 hours into the game itself. And that's with me running a franchise with the Orioles, with the Athletics I did one, and Spencer Horowitz will lift that. I am going to advance the runner here to third. I think him trailing away towards the outfield wall, that trajectory there allowed me to get over to third. So with 2 outs now, we're going to come back to McCutcheon and see if we can do it. So anyways, long story long, I guess I've got plenty of time to tell these stories now. We're going to do the whole video. Is that the game didn't feel like it was being very fair to me, the human player. I was maxing out at 5 or 6 hits per game. I'd get a home run like every other game or every 2 games or so. They were pretty scattered, and that's fine. That's baseball. There's plenty of times where that's going to happen to us, and Alcantara will strand the runner at third. So I know that that's part of the game. I just spoke to about how baseball is a game of failure for the most part, right? It's just who can fail less. But it didn't feel right because going from MLB The Show 24, where I played so much on Hall of Fame difficulty, I'm used to it. I know what it feels like. I know what I need to do. I know the timing and all that stuff, and I'm fine. I would say that I'm pretty good at Hall of Fame difficulty. And Ramirez fouls that off. It's 1-2, bottom of third here. Let's go Marlins are the chants from the crowd here, and let's go sweeper inside. How about that? Sit down, Ramirez. So I get a handle on the difficulty for MLB The Show 24, and then release day comes. MLB The Show 25, I'm excited, I get the game. I start my Orioles franchise to get a feel for it. I play those 6 or 7, 8 games, whatever it was, and it does not feel right. It feels like hitting was severely handicapped against me because I couldn't get those hits consistently either, and I do apologize for the hiccups. I don't have peanut butter near me, or I would take a spoonful of that. If you guys don't know, that is a great cure for the hiccups. If you just take a spoonful of peanut butter, not a little bit, get an actual spoon full of peanut butter, it will cure the hiccups immediately. From the moment that that peanut butter enters your mouth, you will not hiccup again, I promise you. All right, anyways. Inside, ball 1. We got 2 outs now, and it is 1-1 against Derek Hill. So I couldn't get hits, like I said, now multiple times. Let me finish the story. On the other side of the coin here, over on the hill, I could not pitch very well either. Now, I was getting some of my locations. I don't mean I couldn't pitch well as in everything was all over the place. But what I mean is that they would get an extraordinary amount of hits against me and launch home runs, 3-4 home runs per game. And it was really frustrating for me. I was very mad. I probably could have got the tag there, but I'll throw to first anyways, and we'll get out of the third. Skeens is looking and feeling incredible to start this game. And the projected leaders for 2025 is nearly the entire Brian Reynolds show. O'Neal Cruz projected to get 22 stolen bases, but everything else is Brian Reynolds. That's crazy. This is a guy that I'm not familiar with, but I might have to be. We'll see. I don't know. 42 pitches for Sandy Alcantara, by the way, as we enter the top of the 4th. And there's that low in the zone sinker. Gets me to go around again. So, yeah, if I'm giving up 3 or 4 home runs per game, if I'm giving up 10, 11, 12 hits per game, and I'm not able to get more than 5 or 6, it's broken. That's not me. I did not change. I'm used to Hall of Fame timing. I'm used to hitting and pitching to a fairly high degree. And the game is the only thing that changed. I get the new one, and suddenly I can't do it. That's not on me. That's something with the game. And I'm also very active on Reddit. Love arguing on there. It's a good outlet for me. My wife laughs at that every time that I do. If I get quiet for a little while or I'm looking at my phone real intently, she goes, "Who are you arguing with? What are you arguing about?" And it's in Reddit. Tommy Pham will line drive out to right field to begin the top of the 4th. So on Reddit, I've had a few other people that I've seen ask on the show subreddit saying that, they're having a lot of difficulty hitting, not so much on the pitching aspect, and that's a broken bat from Nick Gonzalez. Wow, okay. Late timing on that, but the bat splinters, and that's out number 2. So I'm not the only one. I know that. If you guys out there watching this video, if you also play the show, let me know if you're having difficulty as well. So far in this game, it's looking very good. And I'm thrilled for that because this is the series I'm broadcasting. If I was broadcasting the Orioles one, it would be a very, very tough start. But we are here with the Pittsburgh Pirates, brand new series, brand new game, and I'm just really, really excited. And that's hit well. Timing was good on the sinker. That's another one that would happen. I would get like perfect timing swings, and it would be a line drive straight at somebody. I mean, perfect timing directly to somebody for an out. More often than not. 9 times out of 10, I would say. Maybe 15 times out of 16. Like, it was insane. And it was very, very frustrating. I was legitimately getting angry. But so far, here with Pittsburgh, it's felt a little bit different. I don't believe that's because Pittsburgh is a better team than the Orioles. So let me just say that as an Orioles fan. No offense to anybody that's a Pirates fan. As I anticipate this series continues, I do believe that I will turn into a Pittsburgh fan as well. That does tend to happen. If I take control of a team, wow, what a great spot. 102 miles an hour on the top outer edge. That is beautiful for the 3rd strikeout from Skeens. Incredible, just right by him. Linda Ronstadt blew by you. See you later. Xavier Edwards will come back around, and the bunt attempt will go foul. I'm going to take another drink of water. I'm not used to this non-stop talking. Hopefully this is acceptable to you guys that are watching, and I'll take the opportunity as well. What a great curveball. Wow. Skeens sits down Edwards, and that's 2 strikeouts here. That's the 4th of the night so far, but what a great way to start the bottom of the 4th for Skeens. Pitch count looks really, really good so far still. 101, almost dead center of the zone. Yeah, Skeens feels incredible. That's awesome. So I'll take this moment anyways, as we are 21 minutes into the video, to just say thank you guys if you are still here. I really appreciate all the support that I got with the Rays franchise, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the inning. Skeens sits down the side, and that will be 5 strikeouts for him now. We have the comparison between Skeens and Alcantara, and 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, and yeah, we're giving Alcantara a tough day. But I got a lot of support on the Rays franchise. I picked up a lot of new subscribers. That's a good hit, but nope, he's there at second base. And I had a lot of likes. I had some comments and stuff like that, and that was really cool for me because I'm not really like a YouTuber, you know, quote unquote. I'm doing the air quotes here. I'm not really a YouTuber, I would say. I make some videos every now and again, and actually I would say the Rays franchise that I did was one of the first long-form series that I've done since the Battlefield days. And that was a very long time ago. I was extremely active on Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. When they came out back in the day, I was one of the first people streaming Battlefield 4 when it came out. I had like hundreds of people on that stream, like live at midnight. That was really cool for me. I really loved that. But I haven't really, with any consistency, kept up a series or number of videos on YouTube. I just kind of sporadically put them out there. And that was until recently with the Tampa Bay Rays franchise. And part of that was because I was having so much fun with Cryptic Panther doing our 2 Idiots franchise series. We took over the Washington Nationals. We got them as far as we could, and then we switched over to the Chicago Cubs for MLB The Show 24. We played 3 years in that series and ultimately got them to the World Series and won it. So a great way to finish it. And we finished it right as MLB The Show 25 was coming out. So the timing could not have been more perfect. Wow, my voice cracked there. I think it's because I'm like just dry from all the talking. I've also been dealing with allergies and sinuses for like the entire week. So you've got to really, really bear with me here, people. I am so sorry. This is not the best presentation that I've ever put out there, but hopefully, again, it's going to be acceptable. Let me see. All right, so anyways, I really appreciate the support that I got with the Rays franchise, all the subscribers that I picked up, the views, the likes, the comments. I really love interacting with people, and hopefully you guys are able to get some enjoyment out of this series as well. I would love to have this progress further. I only got to do 1 year with the Rays because I started it late, and I finished it with about a month before the release of MLB The Show 25, and I made that decision to not continue it, despite there being a month gap between games, because this is a side hobby for me. This is not something that I can give a tremendous amount of time to. But with the series, I do make the effort. I do what I can to get series videos out, you know, maybe weekly. Sometimes I can go every 4 days, 5 days or so. Oh, I took a wrong turn there with Cruz in center. Luckily, Bride only has 48 speed, and he's not getting a second off of any mistakes that I'm going to make in the outfield. But, yeah, I'd like to have somewhat of a regular cadence.
Nope, ball one.
And that should have been a strike. That's 100 miles an hour in the bottom corner. Runner is going, and that will prevent the double play. Horowitz is going to have to turn right back around and go to first. Sanchez is out, and Paul Skeens has a runner in scoring position now with only one out. And Agustin Ramirez is going to step to the plate
1-0.
with Miami's scoring opportunity in the middle of this game. Wow, what a slider. I mean, just an artist, just painting the corner right there. It's beautiful. And uh-oh, that goes high and deep, but it's going to go foul. And we will get lucky on that one. My goodness. And not so lucky on that one. That goes into left field, and it will come off the wall. Miami will cash in their very first run of the game, and it's now 2-1. Skeens no longer going after a shutout. And that's Agustin Ramirez's first major league hit and RBI. Good for him. He couldn't have waited till the next series, though. Would have been cool for me. I mean, props to the guy, but I don't want their success to come at my expense. And it's 0-2. Oh, and he flails at the sweeper in there, and that's out number 2. Paul Skeens has his 6th strikeout. That's nice. Let's see if we can strand the runner at second. Derek Hill will watch strike 1, 101 miles an hour below the zone. And I need another drink of water, so I'll let the footage roll. Bear with me one moment.
2 balls, 1 strike.
All right. So now we've evened it back up 2-2. And curveball. Bottom of the zone is fouled away. That was a really good pitch there as well. Obviously, Skeens has velocity and break, but I don't know what my favorite pitch is with him yet. It might actually be that sweeper. I really like the action on that. And the control is better than with the slider, at least in my experience so far. And that is 100 miles an hour right past him. Man, Hill can't believe it. That's fantastic. All right, we are halfway through the game. More than that, actually, as we're in the top of the 6th now. And it's Joey Bart. 4, 5, and 6 due up. Bart looking for his first hit. We've got 6 of them in the game, and look at that. I held off.
Counts 1-0.
I didn't swing at something that's 2 feet below the zone. I'm so proud. Oh, man, even my laugh sounds terrible right now because I'm still so suppy. I've tried my best to not sniffle. I need to just do, like, one real big sniff, so I'm going to mute my mic. Just hang on one second. Oh, broken bat! And Alcantara coming over to get it, the throw over. Okay, perfect. I'm going to mute my mic 1 second. Oh, okay. I'm back. Appreciate the time there. All right, Spencer Horowitz. And that is going to go to center field, and it will not drop in. They are there. So 2 kind of quick outs for Alcantara. And I'd like to get him out of this game. This is going to be pitch number 70. One thing I do try to keep an eye on as well is the energy level of these pitchers. As I try to push, that was a really good take. As I try to push the pitch count up and try to get their starters out early, I like to dig into the bullpen. And McCutchen will not help us in that way, as he will pop out to second base. And that's a really good inning for Alcantara. But my strategy is I try to be not intentionally patient to where, like, I won't swing at something dead center of the zone. I will. If that's the first pitch, I'll swing at it for sure. But I do have the goal of trying to stretch at bats. And so I'm trying to get better at that all the time, about not swinging at everything, or, like, even if it's in the zone, that doesn't mean that I need to swing at it. If it's, you know, on one of the inner corners or over to the side, I don't need to swing at that because ultimately there's probably not much I'm going to do with it. That's where a lot of outs come from, right? So I'm trying to get better at that at all times because I want to get the starters out. I want to start chewing up that bullpen, and I want to weaken them throughout the series. I think Game 1 in any series for me is typically the hardest challenge, but if I can have a good Game 1, and I can start eating the bullpen down and making them expend more energy and more bodies than they want to do, for me, that's a definite measure of success. I love doing that. And Conine will lift that high into the right field corner, and that's out number 2. Skeens still looking very good. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, Xavier Edwards. He comes back to the plate, 0-2. Good sinker, another perfectly placed pitch. Skeens just feels so good to pitch with. If anybody else has pitched with him, you let me know if that's your experience as well. And that will be a high fly out to left field. We are through 6, still maintaining a 2-1 lead. And Miami is going to tap into the bullpen, knock on wood, having this discussion. Jesus Tinoco, who looked pretty good for them through 40 innings last year, a 3.32 ERA. And I'm going to take this opportunity as well, because Skeens is probably starting to get tired. I didn't check his energy level, or notice it, rather. I'll start warming somebody up. Let's get Bailey Falter into the game. How about that? Full disclosure as well, I am not currently playing. What we're seeing is I played this game. I recorded the whole game in its entirety, of course. And then what I'm doing now is sitting at my computer and commenting over this, because I feel like it would be too distracting for me to try to play the game and talk at the same time. And so this is after the fact that I am voicing over. But it's still cool for me to do. I still really enjoy it. Hopefully I didn't ruin like the peek behind the curtain. You know, pay no attention to the man behind the microphone. It's me, not currently playing, as that's a butt shot of Tinoco. Why? So, anyways, this is still, I think, the best way for me to do it. So I can focus on the commentary, I can talk about it, and I can kind of gauge, you know, okay, I kind of remember this important part coming up, and I can allow for those moments. It's 1-0 against Gonzalez, and 2-0 as Tinoco misses. He looks sharp against the first batter, and 2 bad misses there against Gonzalez. And that is a perfect time, right at him. 105 off the bat, and Norby able to spear that thing. That is incredible reaction. This comes out even in slow motion pretty quick, but Norby able to snag it out of the air. Wow. And that's exactly what I mean, a perfectly timed hit. It's dead center on that timing meter. It should have gone straight. Instead, it goes to third base, directly into the glove of the guy. I mean, what can you do? I don't know. But we'll bring out Paul Skeens again for the bottom of the 7th now. Only 3 hits for Miami. We have been able to hold them very well. Very happy about that. And here he is, Connor Norby himself. Is going to come back to the plate for the bottom of the 7th to lead off. 4-5-6-2 up for Miami now. And missing barely with that 102-mile-an-hour fastball, top inside zone. Missing with the sinker. Okay, 2-0. Pitch number 78. That's hit hard but foul. And this is the worst screen that you can see in a game with Paul Skeens. Pitcher injury. Doesn't tell me what, but he must be replaced. Unbelievable. And the timing of that is I had just warmed up Bailey Falter. I mean, that's incredible as well. You cannot script that because, like I said, this is after the fact. I can't believe that happened when it happened, and I can't believe it all over again. Bailey Falter is going to come in, and he had an okay year last year. He pitched 142 innings, a 4.43 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, low strikeout rate, but a pretty low walk rate as well. So I feel like he's just a contact pitcher. This is another guy I'm not familiar with. But he will inherit the 2-1 count against Norby. And with the foul, we'll even it at 2-2. And I need some more water. Bear with me one moment. And a pop-up from Norby to right field. And McCutcheon is there underneath it. So hopefully we do not get devastating news about Paul Skeens. I'm going to be nervous until we see that screen again. And yes, I do know the outcome, but I won't spoil anything. I will never spoil something preemptively. We will experience it together, even if I have to act just a little bit. So, again, a peek behind the curtain there. Excuse me. All right, so how does Bailey Falter handle this situation? Does he rise or does he falter? No, that was way too on the nose. I'm so sorry. That was suntan on the beach right there. Sunscreen. All right, and Kiner Falefa able to grab that at short. So 2 outs now for Falter. I'll take it. And Jesus Sanchez will come back to the plate. He averaged 252 in the 2024 season, which is pretty decent. And wow, great slider inside. It was out of the zone the entire way right up until the landing. And he will pull that one into right field. So a 2-out single for Sanchez. All right, come on, Falter. We need to get a grip right here. It's only a 1-run game, and we just lost our ace. Strike one, bottom of the zone. 91 miles an hour seems to come in a lot slower than just 10 miles an hour less than that Paul Skeens fastball, but let's see what we can do with it. Slider gets in through the back door one more time, and it's 1-2 against Agustin Ramirez. Great 12 curve. That had more lateral movement than most 12 curves that I've seen. And that's hit high, but it is going to go foul in the left field stands. But yeah, that 12 curve looked pretty nasty. I like that. Let's try something inside. Oh, come on! Like, he even can't believe it. Falter's like, are you kidding me? What? I mean, that was over the plate the entire time. It finished inside the zone, but that was over the plate the entire trajectory. And we'll get another pop-up, this time into right field stands. Wow, the umpire calling, man, I can't wait for automatic balls and strikes. And Horowitz will take that one, a weak grounder, and we will end the 7th. So despite Paul Skeens coming out unexpectedly, we did have a man ready to go. Thankfully, the foresight was there. And let me see what we've got going on now, because this is a different picture now. So Holderman had 96 for his clutch rating. I'm going to get him scheduled to go in the game next. I just want to make sure that we're going to be as secure as possible. I will warm up another pitcher. I'm not sure how to say that name. Is it Modzinski or... It's probably not Molodzinski, but let's pretend the L is silent for now. As much as I hate silent letters, I will acquiesce. So let's say Modzinski. I don't know. I'm going to warm him up as a backup. But we'll see what happens. And wow, maybe I'm shook up here. That slider was nowhere near the zone. That was way inside, nearly skimming the knees of O'Neal Cruz. And I still took a swing at it. Terrible. And there's a low sinker. Got to swing at that. It's within 10 feet of the bottom of the zone. You know I'm going to swing at it. And Cruz quickly behind 0-2. Okay, that's a little easier to take. Sinker way outside. That didn't look like it was coming near the zone at all. So it's 1-2. Tinoco's still out there. That's an easy take. Gosh, I'm so sorry. This might not have been the best idea. I feel terrible. I'm stuffy. I've got like that post-nasal drip, and I've got a cough now. My throat is so dry at all times. But it's a full count. And we will watch that. That was a really good take on the circle change outside, and O'Neal Cruz is going to walk to first. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is the first walk, actually, that we've taken. So Kiner Falefa is going to come up, and anybody familiar with my previous Rays series knows. When I have speed on the bag, he's going to go for it. I love to steal bases, and it's only fitting, as O'Neal Cruz is the tallest Pirate I've ever seen, and he will steal that bag. That's what Pirates do, right? Steal and plunder, at least historically. I don't know. I'd like to be an aggressive base running team. Maybe we can set that as one of our goals. Let's get aggressive on the base path. I like that idea. Kiner Falefa behind 0-2 now as we try to get O'Neal Cruz in. And Tinoco with pitch number 16. His energy is still pretty good. I'm taking a look here at slider, sinker, four-seam, circle change. Just wanted to double-check that pitch mix and the speed at which those come in. Easy take there on the sinker, low and inside. And it's the top of the 8th with a 1-run differential. And Kiner Falefa defending that slider. That was under the zone by a little bit, but still makes me nervous. The bottom of the zone, man, I'm telling you, I cannot hold up on so many of those. That one's easier, and we'll steal third with O'Neal Cruz. Not only did I fool the Marlins, but I bet I fooled you there. I didn't anticipate, or rather, I did not give it away that we were going to try to steal third, but I wanted it, and we got it. He's quick enough, and he's also tall enough. If he lays down, that's like 3 O'Neal Cruzes to third. I think, is that a unit of measurement? An O'Neal Cruz. And that is going to get through. Kiner Falefa, the dive at second base, cannot grab it or stop it. And so, a single that is pretty routine actually gets past him, and that's an RBI for IKR, or IKF. Oh my gosh. I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to mess up the acronyms, and so I didn't want to try it. But it just kind of slipped out there organically. It's also kind of the thing of, like, doing a stream of consciousness recording instead of, like, taking it clip by clip. or section by section, so to speak. Like, I'll record sometimes for 3 minutes. And wow, that goes right over second base. Keep that runner going. That's heads-up base running and paying attention right there. That nets us runners on the corners, on the error. That's awesome. But anyways, it's one of the dangers that I expose myself to by doing this kind of long-form commentary with no real break, is that you just kind of hear all my mistakes. And Joey Bart will take that up through center field on the weak grounder, but that is enough to score our 4th run of the game. And now we're getting into the Miami bullpen in a big way. And yeah, Skipper's going to come out. Hi, Dad. That's the Miami dad, I think. Could be their pitching coach. I don't know, but my wife and I call the head coaches for every team Dad, because when he comes out to make a pitcher change, he always looks disappointed. So it's just a fun little inside joke that we have. The Marlins will bring in Seth Martinez. Through 52 innings last year, he had a 3.59 ERA. That's pretty good. This might be one of their best guys. I know the Marlins are a very low-quality team right now. No offense to them. That's just the facts. So this might be one of their better guys. Let's see how Martinez does. But yeah, doing a long recording like this, I've currently had nearly 38 minutes on my voice track right now. I did sneak in a break earlier, and Horowitz to left field, and I don't believe we're going to chance that one. No, we'll keep him there first and second. So when I do a long recording like this, it's hard to hide the mistakes, either the vocal flubs that I do, messing up a word, or not really saying something the way that I want to say it. I just kind of leave it, and if I sniffle or cough or something like that, that's just the breaks. This is the long recording that I'm giving you guys, and yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm not perfect. I'm really not that good at this. There's a lot of editing magic that goes on behind the scenes here that I try to do to make myself as presentable as possible and sound sometimes as professional as possible. And McCutchen deep to left field. It's going back, and it's gone! Our first home run comes from the perennial Pirate himself, Andrew McCutchen. 386 feet into left field. It was not a no-doubter, but now there's no doubt about it. That was beautiful. And it's a 3-run blast. What an inning that we've had now. And it's 7-1 all of a sudden. And here we go. What's this? McCutchen's going to cut you. He's got the sword. I love it. Yeah, different angle here really shows it did go well deep enough. That was supposed to be a no-doubter, but we did not get the animation there. And so Martinez, who I just said was possibly one of their best relievers, gets bombed. After only 5 pitches, he's given up a home run. Tommy Pham, meanwhile, will bloop one into right field for a 1-out single, and we now have Nick Gonzalez back up to the plate at number 8. Can we tack on anything extra here and give us some more insurance? That's played over at third. They throw to second. They got him. And safe at first. Gonzalez is quick enough to get there. And there's 2 outs now, which is 1 man on the fielder's choice. Brian Hayes batting 9th and cleanup will be here now. And I like Gonzalez's speed, but he does not have a good steal rating. It's a steal rating of 11. So what that means is that the jump that he's going to get, the timing there, is going to be really awful. So despite being very, very fast and nearly elite speed, I don't think that we're going to try to steal a bag with him. I just don't think that's in the cards for somebody with 11 speed. So it's 1-1, 1-1 against Brian Hayes. And a weak grounder over to short. They'll take the short flip over to second, and that will get them out of the 8th. But Andrew McCutchen coming in clutch. Andrew McClutchen there, as we've racked up 10 hits and 7 runs versus Miami on opening day. What a great start. There, that's the last of my water. Not much longer to go in the video, and we'll bring in Colin Holderman, who threw 51 innings through a 3.16 ERA. It's pie day for him, or a pie year that he had, I suppose. And we'll see how he handles the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be 8, 9, and 1. The lineup will turn over here, but first we're going to see Dane Myers. And that sinker at 96 looks pretty good. I like that. It wasn't quite where I put it. The cutter looked pretty good at 91. Let's see what we got going on here. That's a weak grounder to Kiner Falefa. And off of 3 pitches, we get 2 strikes and a ground out. Okay. All right, Holderman. Holderman, all right. Here's Derek Hill. Batting 9th. Okay, missing with the sweeper. It's got some good break to it, but he might not have the control. And wow, that sounded really good. Reynolds tracking back into left field, and it will stop just before the warning track. So, wow, really quickly getting 2 outs with Holderman. That's only 5 pitches. That's incredibly efficient, and there's no way that we're going to keep that up. And that will go foul, just barely. Oh, man. Lucky on there. That would have been a double from Otto Lopez.
Ball 1.
We will miss the cutter slightly below the zone. And that one did not go where I wanted it either. That was pretty much dead center of the zone. Yeah, dead center in that box. But 1 and 2.
Ball 2.
Does not go after the sweeper, low and away. And he went after that one, the cutter below the zone, played by Gonzalez, and that is the end of the 8th. Holderman looked really, really good there. I like how that felt. All right, so we're going to move into the final inning of the game. If you guys have been enjoying this video, if there's been anything that's been a highlight for you, yeah, let's go to the bullpen here for a second. I've got Bednar as a setup man. I do think I want to go ahead and bring him in. We're not going to see our closer today. Because we're up by 6 runs. I don't think there's a reason for that. If we need him tomorrow, I'd rather have him fresh. And so we won't put in the closer. We'll put him in the setup man instead. And we should be fine. We're up by 6 right now. So O'Neal Cruz, as the lineup turns over, is going to be here. But yeah, if there's anything that's been a highlight for you guys that you've enjoyed, if you've made it this far, first of all, thank you very much for that. And that is a good swing and good timing. Center field, and he's got it, though. Wow. He had to sprint the entire way back to the warning track there. So, if there's anything that you guys think I need to know about the Pirates, if there's anything that has happened that you've been a fan of, any comments you want to make or whatever, I love interaction. That's one of my favorite things when I do make videos. So, if you guys could leave anything, I'd appreciate it. It'd be really cool for me to interact with you guys, make some friends and some fans, and see if we can get the Pirates started off to a good year in 25. There are some moves that I'm planning on making. I don't have everything exactly spelled out, as Kiner Falefa will ground out there for the second out, and it'll come down to Brian Reynolds. I don't have everything mapped out, and there's going to be a lot that's going to be pending this discussion that I have, which, reminder, that is going to be a special episode, a discussion episode with what I consider an incredible baseball resource and a big Pirates fan. So we'll be talking all things Pittsburgh and where we should go with them coming up shortly in an episode somewhere. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for being here. I do really, really appreciate if you've made it this far into the video. It's been a long one, but I felt like opening day was a great opportunity for me to do one of these long-form recordings and just kind of get a lot of thoughts out, talk about where it is, and, oh, man, it's just barely foul. Talk about where I feel, you know, some of the strengths and weaknesses lie. I did that in my quick breakdown video, but getting to play with these guys in-game is a whole nother matter. And Brian Reynolds will pop out over to, well, kind of a line drive, I guess, but he'll pop out over left field either way. And we will move into the final half inning of the game, and we will bring in David Bednar, who through 2024 was pretty terrible, apparently. 57 innings pitched and a very high over 5 ERA. All right, 2, 3, 4 coming up. It is going to be, should be, the most dangerous part of the order for Miami, and Conine, with hard contact, will drive that foul on the first pitch. So I love getting a feel for how these guys play, for how the swings are, because it is different. You know, some guys with their batting stances, their swings, their kind of get-ready routine, you know, you can hit X when they're at the plate, and they'll move the bat around. They'll do like a motion of some sort. I really enjoy getting a feel for the players and how they feel at those moments. And Conine will swing and miss, strike out on the 97 miles an hour challenge fastball by Bednar. So it's cool for me to get a feel for these guys and kind of like, okay, I'm good at this with this guy. You know, there's definitely individual characteristics that you can develop by playing with them. Same thing with pitchers as well. I get a feel like that's a nasty curveball. I don't know if Bednar's curveball is that good in real life, but in this game right there, that felt incredible, and it looked nasty. Love it. 2 outs now for Bednar. And we will move to the final possible guy. I lost my word there. And that's dead center. Wow. It's going to be Connor Norby. It's the last chance for Miami to make something happen, down by 6. What a comeback that would be, right? Spoiler alert, they're not going to score enough to tie this game here.
1 ball.
That's a
2 strikes.
curveball outside. It's 1-2 against Connor Norby. I'm trying to get him to chase something outside here. I don't want to give him anything good. Splitter's a little closer, but still outside and no chase. Okay, let's try that curveball, see if I can grab the bottom corner. Closer, and he did go around, but he did manage to grab a piece of it. It's 2-2. And nope, the splitter down and in does not get him either. Norby making this a hard at bat. Let's try fastball up and in. How about that? Nope. Changing every corner, trying to hit them all. That's 100 miles an hour. Fastball low and in. Let's try that one.
Count is full.
Does not get it. So the count goes full now. What a frustrating at bat from Connor Norby. Nope. Curveball is just fouled away again. Don't know how many pitches that is so far, but this is frustrating. And we got him! The splitter does catch the edge of the zone, and the Pittsburgh Pirates win in dominating fashion. Expectedly so, I would say, against one of the worst teams in baseball. Again, no offense, just the facts, Miami. But wow, 7-1 victory was not what I had on my bingo card, which, oh man, big props to my wife. She made bingo cards for baseball. We did go to some spring training games. We made bingo cards, and oh my gosh, you guys, it's so cute. It was such a hit. We had people around us at the game that we debuted them on, and people loved them. They were asking about them. They were wondering who was winning. It was awesome. So big props to my wife for making some excellent and imaginative bingo cards. She is so creative, and I love it. I love it so much. So anyways, we win this game. Opening day, a triumphant victory for Pittsburgh, and that is a 7-1 blowout against Miami. Paul Skeens was hurt, though, so we're going to see right here as we get back to the menu what the actual result of that is as soon as this game will load. Okay, and it is elbow tightness. It appears he will be out for a few days. Okay, so we can live with that. Skeens will be out for a few days. That's fine. The rotation means he's got days of rest as well. So we will take game 1, and Skeens will sit for a little bit. Hopefully by the time that his next start comes around, he'll be ready to go. But game 2 will feature Edward Cabrera versus Jared Jones as we try to take another victory over Miami. Thank you guys so very much for making it to the end of a very long video and for bearing with me as I sound terrible and feel even worse. Cannot wait for what's in come for Pittsburgh, and I'll see you guys next time.